Welcome to the Cast-Off. I'm your host, Craig Price, and this is the #1 recasting on the show where two contestants compete by recasting your favorite actors in movies you love. Tonight, we have two great guys recasting 6 great ladies. Well, actually, it's 4 great ladies and a couple guys as we go with Mamma Mia. And let's get right to today's guest, and that is, of course, we've got a new person, and we've got a person who has been on the show but not live. So we'll start with Mark Woodring from the Virtually Stunning Movie Podcast and Jared McClelland from, remind me your podcast.
Oh man, I've got several.
That's why I forgot.
Podcast Society, the Three Musketeers, Spoop Squad, Hi Hungry I'm Dead. I've got several.
That's why we didn't know which one to pick, but definitely from Comic Palooza's podcast program. We'll start with Mark because, Mark, you have won the toss tonight, and you will go first when we start our competition. How are you been, Mark? How has the Visually Stunning Movie Podcast been this summer, the summer of the return of movies?
You summed it up right there. It has been the summer of the return of movies, so that means we have been doing a lot, and in an embarrassment of riches, sometimes running out of time to talk about all the great movies that are coming out and have come out. So
wait a minute, it's a podcast. You have as much time as you want.
Oh, really? Is that how it works?
It does. I'm sorry. Are you getting paid?
No.
Oh,
no,
then
I'm
yeah,
not.
you can fill it as much as you want.
Yeah, no. Time's just a construct, man.
Yeah. So why are you running out of time?
Because I have a day job, Craig.
Oh, that's right. You do. Some of us don't. I forgot what it's like to have responsibilities and be someone who is actually useful in society. But let's talk to someone else who's also useful in society, and that, of course, is Jared McClelland. Welcome to the video podcast. You have been on the live podcast, which is a totally different dynamic.
I have, and it is different. We actually had the live audience vote on all of the picks, so this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, that's how it works when we do it live. It's the crowd does it. I wish I could do it here, but we don't have a crowd that watches, so it's still going to be the same amount of judges, I think, if we did it by audience participation. The 2 that we have tonight. But anything interesting happening on your various podcasts this summer?
Oh man, well, my Disney podcast that I do with my sisters, we're actually going to Disney in about 2 weeks. So we're going to get a lot of content going on there, probably podcast while we're there.
Now let's see, Texas, that means you're going to Disney World.
Yes, Disney World.
See?
I mean, we're right there in the middle between the two.
No, I know, but it's for some reason, everybody east of the Rockies goes to Disney World, where everyone from Utah and west of the Rockies goes to Disneyland.
Yeah.
So
that seems to be accurate.
And so you and your sister have a podcast about Disney World, Disney in general.
We do, yeah.
And lots of stuff going on there. What have you really liked from Disney besides Obi-Wan Kenobi, which I enjoy? Are you enjoying Miss Marvel? Are you enjoying...
Miss Marvel has been amazing. I love that show. The editing, the special effects that they put into it, it's been great. Obi-Wan Kenobi has been really good as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of good stuff coming from Disney, mostly the Star Wars and Marvel right now.
Well, I think that's all they've got right now. They've got they won the big pot, and now they're going to squeeze that little piggy until all the little coins come out. So let's get on with the show, and we got some rules we have to go over, and it's fairly simple. The rules haven't changed, even though we're doing it on video, Jared. The rules are simple. We're going to put up an actor and their character, and you are going to name a replacement actor. That doesn't mean you don't like the actor we've got, because we got Meryl Streep tonight. No one's going to say, oh, this person's better than Meryl Streep. But we do know that someone could do a good job as that character, as Meryl Streep. Our judges are going to decide which one is the best choice, and that best choice gets 1 point. I'm also playing along, and so if you happen to get my secret selection, you get a point. And let's be honest, most of the time my secret selection is the best choice, so that's a good way of getting 2 points when you get far behind. I see you shaking your head there, Mark. Let's not poison the well before we start drinking, okay?
Fair enough.
Person with the most points wins because we're America. And if there's a tie, we will go to a double feature to win, and I'll explain that when and if it's necessary. And since this is July, we are smack dab in the middle of Steve Martin month as we do Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, one of my personal favorites. You got Michael Caine, Steve Martin, Glenna Headley. Put the cork on the fork. If you don't understand that, watch this movie. You'll love it. You'll be Rupert and everybody it's a fantastic movie. So head over to matineeheroes.com/subscribe, and you can subscribe to the audio podcast. And while you're there, you can subscribe to the video podcast at matineeheroes.com/castoff. But if you don't want to watch video and you just like what we do here in the audio format, you can listen to the matineeheroes.com /subscribe to the audio feed, and on every Thursday you will hear this episode and the post show, which is extra just for the audio listeners. Well, let's get on to Mamma Mia, and oh my God, here we go again, which is not the sequel. It is the sequel, but it's not the sequel we're doing tonight. And we're going to start off with the great Meryl Streep as Donna Sheridan Carmichael, the mom who was part of this unbelievable musical trio and then decided to give it up when she became pregnant and become a good mom. So we are going to start with Mark. Mark, who do you have to possibly replace the amazing and very talented, she can sing, she can dance, she can act, she can do anything, Meryl Streep? Who do you have replacing her as Donna?
That's a hard choice. It's Meryl Streep. How do you do that? The only person I could even think of, you know what? Glenn Close.
Absolutely. Glenn Close. She is stupid PowerPoint stuff today. I'm telling you, I'm going to throw this computer in the toilet. I paid good money for it, and now look at it. We just have Mark instead of Glenn Close. Do you want to look at Mark? Nobody wants to look at Mark. We want to look at Glenn Close. So we've got Glenn Close, who is known for not being ignored in Fatal Attraction. She was great in The World According to Garp. She and pretty much Robin Williams were the same age, and yet she played Robin Williams' mother amazingly. In The Big Chill, she was the vice president of Air Force One, and of course, the original 101 Dalmatians. Now, I have a question for you, though.
Sure.
Glenn Close, can she sing?
I believe so, yes.
Have we seen her sing before, or is she very much a Rex Harrison type singer?
I can't swear to that.
Okay. And why Glenn Close?
I needed someone with the weight of Meryl Streep. I mean, it's Meryl Streep, for God's sake.
Yeah, I think they're the same weight. She doesn't seem like she's much bigger. So, yeah. All right, Jared. So he's going by weight, which is weird. What did you use to decide who was going to be the mother in charge, the singing mom?
So I thought that we needed to replace a goat with a goat, obviously, and I went with Julie Andrews.
Absolutely, Julie Andrews. She is known for being perfect pitch, not pitch perfect, perfect pitch. She, of course, she's had some voice problems in the last 15, 20 years, which is a damn shame. But she is one of those singers that's pitch perfect, from Mary Poppins, Sound of Music, and of course she can act, as we saw in 10, Victoria, and then of course the youngins know her from the Princess Diaries. Julie Andrews is a goat. Why do you think she's the goat, though?
She taught us our do-re-mis and our long words.
she taught you the long words.
Yeah, the long words.
All right. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, is that the word you're specifically talking about?
That is the one. You are
all
correct.
Right. See, I'm just trying to help you out there, Jared. Well, we've got Glenn Close, Julie Andrews. The judges, it was undeniable. You got to go Julie Andrews, because not only does she have everything, she can sing too. So you've got a combination that can't be beat. I went with Nicole Kidman because she can sing, as we saw from Moulin Rouge. Not the greatest singer, but either is Meryl Streep. And everybody I picked is in their 50s, or I'm going to age up a little bit, but also can sing. We've seen them sing before. So everyone I've picked can definitely sing. I don't know if that's true, Mark, for you. I don't know if that's true for you either, Jared. So as we go for the next one, we go with Amanda Seyfried as Sophie. She is the bride. She's the one that's what do you call a female bastard? A bastress? Anyways, she is the girl who doesn't know who her father is. So we will go with you, Jared. Who do you have to be the cute and adorable girl going to the Greek Isles to get married?
Okay, so I picked Annie Murphy.
Okay. I'm going to need more than that.
Okay, so Annie Murphy, most people would know her from Schitt's Creek. Extremely funny, very talented actress. I think that she would fit in to that role very well.
She was good in Murderville, though she kind of chuckled her way through that a little bit. That was that improv show.
Yeah.
And I guess she's in the new Kevin. I haven't seen that yet, but Russian Dolls is a top-notch show, and she's been in that on several episodes. So, and The Plateaus was some weird Canadian web series. Anybody know why I have her known for ruling her domain?
No.
No
Explain.
guesses?
Nope.
Well, she does a birth control commercial that I saw every show for 6 months. Every commercial on Roku was this her inside of her vagina talking about birth control and ruling her domain. So I just that's how I know her by, is because she's trimming rose bushes and going on scooters through her vagina. All right, Mark, whose vagina did you pick?
Well, that's a weird segue, Craig.
I had to go with a segue, man. What you gonna do?
From scooters to segways. I needed. But first, I love Amanda Seyfried in pretty much everything she does. But I wanted a kind of a wide-eyed ingenue young lady, and I went with Ana de Armas.
Ana de Armas, absolutely. She is Daniel Craig's sidekick, because we saw her in Knives Out and No Time to Die in the same year, pretty much. Well, No Time to Die was so postponed, but she was great in both of those. We saw a lot of her in Blade Runner 2049. I saw her in Hands of Stone, which was the boxing movie that she was really good in that. She's going to be Marilyn Monroe, which I've just seen pictures of. Amazing. So I'm a big Ana de Armas fan, so I'm assuming she can sing. If she can't, we'll fake it.
Right.
So we've got Annie Murphy, Ana de Armas, and the judges went with Annie Murphy, because is it Anna or Annie? Annie Murphy. So Jared gets 2 points and takes the lead. I went with Anna Kendrick. So we all went with Anns of some sort. I just find Anna Kendrick cute, and I wanted to get this kind of hippie. I thought she'd be a good. We know she can sing and all that stuff, so I thought she'd be perfect. She's also like 4'9", and she can play herself as a child and as an adult. That helps. Well, next we get one of my favorite people, Christina Baranski. She is just the uber talented Broadway talent, movie talented, TV talented. This one I felt was the hardest one to go with. And so we'll start with you, Mark. Mark, who do you have playing I guess she is a divorcee who makes her money divorcing guys? Is that how it works?
Sure. And going after younger guys and richer guys. My notes said slutty cougar.
Okay.
And I immediately went to Kim Cattrall.
Well, that's just wrong. She's not a slutty cougar. She's sexy in all decades, because we saw her in Police Academy and Mannequin and Porky's and Big Trouble in Little China in the 80s. And then in the 2000s, she's in the Sex and the City movies. Always beautiful, always talented. So, Jared, who'd you go with?
So mine went a little different.
Almost the exact opposite.
I really like the pick there, because I went with Kim Cattrall.
Yeah, see who was Kim Cattrall as well. Who she's known for Mark's pick. She was in the Sex and the City TV show, and these are all her TV credits. So she's on Queer as Folk. She's the voice, the narrator on How I Met Your Father. She's on a show called Filthy Rich, and another one in Canada called Sensitive Skin. So this one was easy. We go to the judges. I'll be honest with you. The judges did not like either one of your picks.
Wow.
They specifically both rolled their eyes and said, if I have to, I'm going to pick Kim Cattrall. So you both get a point. So actually, strategically, Jared, that's a good block. That was a good block for you, because now you've just delayed his ability to gain more points.
Right, exactly.
Very strategic. I went with Gwyneth Paltrow, because I thought she could play that. I know she can sing, and I thought she could play that, despondent, kind of distant. She's kind of a. Kirsten Baranski is very cougar in that movie. I think this would be good for Gwyneth to play that. Get her out of her funk that she's in and goop. I think all the goop she's taking care is getting in her brain. Let's get to another favorite of mine, Julie Walters as Rosie Mulligan, who is kind of the. She's like she's an author, she's a writer, but she's one of the down-to-earth, fun-loving gals in the group. I guess if she was in the Dixie Chicks, she'd be the lead singer. The other two would be the backup singers, and then of course the lead singer of the Dixie Chicks, very talented, but not Kim Cattrall. So we have. It's going to be. It looks like it's going to be Jared's turn. Jared, who do you have playing the spunky Rosie Mulligan?
So I tried to pick somebody who had the same kind of energy, meaning that, kind of the funnier aspect of the character, and I went with Catherine O'Hara.
Somebody's been watching Schitt's Creek a lot. She's known for
a great show.
It is a fantastic show. She's known for eccentric mothers, as we saw in Schitt's Creek, and she's also known as an irresponsible mother, as we saw in Home Alone. We've seen her in Best in Show, SCTV, and Beetlejuice. She is comedy gold.
The Mighty Wind as well. I'm going to throw that one in because that one's one of my favorites that she's in.
And she can sing.
She
yes.
can.
See, we saw that in the Mighty Wind. All right. So that goes to you, Mark. Who do you have to go up against the great Catherine O'Hara?
Well, first, let me just preemptively congratulate Jared on his victory tonight, because judging on the way my picks are going so far, I think it's all but a certain. So congratulations, sir. But I hope I managed to come back and get you. Second, how do you replace a dame? I replaced a dame with another dame, Judi Dench.
Absolutely. She's known for Bond's boss because she's in the Bonds movie for both Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig. She was in The Great Mrs. Brown, and I love that movie because it's got Billy Donnelly in it, who's a great job. She won an Oscar for Shakespeare in Love, and she was only in it for 9 minutes. That is Queen Bee energy right there. Recently, she was in Belfast, and everybody makes mistakes. She was in Cats. So we've got Catherine O'Hara, Judi Dench, and the judges went with Catherine O'Hara. But it's 4-1 because of the tie. There is still 6 points on the board, Mark. You are still in this. So you have to tie with me a couple times maybe. You've got to finagle a little bit, but you're still in this. I went with Kristen Bell, but we're going to age her up. So Kristen Bell, because if we can age people down and say we want a young Sean Connery, I think in 10 to 15 years when she's in her mid-50s, she would be perfect for this. And we also know Kristen Bell can sing. But I think she's one of those down-to-earth, spunky kind of people that would really be funny and really do a good job on this part. Well, enough of the ladies. Let's get on to the men, unfortunately. And we're going to start off with the most handsome man in the world, some people think. And let's be honest, if we could change bodies with him, I think all three of us would decide, oh yes, immediately. I would love to be like, even with the beard, you got your beautiful beard, Jared. He's got a beautiful beard. He can grow that majestic gray beard. Pierce Brosnan. So we're going to start with you. Now as your comeback starts here, Mark, who do you have replacing James Bond, Pierce Brosnan, as Sam Carmichael?
I replaced James Bond, one of my favorite James Bonds, with James Bond, Timothy Dalton.
I was going to say, is this one of your favorite? He is the unsung Bond, because I think he really did a good job as Bond. He just happened to happen in between Roger Moore and Pierce Brosnan. He is like the forgotten Bond, but that's Lazenby, really. Great in Flash Gordon, The Living Daylights, The Rocketeer, Hot Fuzz, and now you'll see him in Doom Patrol. He has been great for 4 to 5 decades. We actually were looking up earlier, does Timothy Dalton sing? And you can go on YouTube and see him in 1978, The Sextet, with Mae West, the original Mae West, singing, was it Love Can Keep Us Together?
Love Can Keep Us Together.
Oh my God, it was not good. Mae West looks like a corpse. He sings like Rex Harrison, that talk singy. So, Jared, we've got an established Shakespearean actor who is cool enough to play Bond and sexy enough to play Bond, but also is really good. Who do you have to compete with James Bond?
So I kind of dug deep on this one, replacing one of the most handsome men on the movie screen with another handsome man from the silver screen, and that would be Peter O'Toole.
Oh, yes, and I had to find him in a Bond-like outfit because he is amazing. Known for his wild theater escapades, one thing I know is that if you he has passed, and he talks about this as well. If you had hired Peter O'Toole, you'd have to increase the budget just for the drinking tabs because he loved to drink. But his amazing performance in Lawrence of Arabia and The Lion in Winter, Mel Brooks's life story, my favorite year. That, if you've never seen that movie, it's a great. Him and Mark Lynn-Baker are wonderful in it. We just did Ratatouille for our Pixar month, where he played the food critic, and of course, everyone has to make a dollar. He was in King Ralph with John Goodman. So we've got Timothy Dalton, Peter O'Toole. Mark goes with back-to-back Bond actors. Jared trying to diversify his portfolio with a very English proper gentleman. And Mark is still in it. He gets the point with Timothy Dalton. So you're just 2 points behind. I went with Hugh Jackman. All right. And so, yeah. Because he can sing, he can dance, he's handsome, whatever. All right. Next we get to the great Colin Firth as Harry Bright, who had a dalliance with Meryl Streep's character, and then we find out later that it was kind of a trial run for him. He had feelings. He wanted to make sure that they were legit. He tried with Meryl Streep and realized, nope, sorry, I am gay. And so Harry Bright is the gay father in this one. And who do you have playing the exceptionally smart British banker, Colin Firth's Harry Bright? Jared.
I kind of went with an actor that I think most people would associate with Colin Firth, and I went with Hugh Grant.
Hugh Grant, known for his stuttering charm. Yeah, he was in Remains of the Day, 4 Weddings and a Funeral. My wife has watched this movie over and over again through COVID, Sense and Sensibility. I don't know why. She likes all those Jane Eyre things. Notting Hill we did on the podcast. And then apparently the greatest movie ever made, according to Nicolas Cage, Paddington 2.
Best movie.
Mark, who do you have to go up against the great Hugh Grant?
Well, I also chose someone that could play this kind of upright English gentleman-looking fellow. Bears a kind of, in his younger days, kind of bears a strong resemblance to a younger Colin Firth. And I went, not intentionally, but I went with Rupert Everett.
Not intentionally?
Not just because Rupert Everett is gay.
Oh, okay. That was because you didn't finish that sentence. But, while I don't feel you need to ask people their sexual preference to cast them, it's always better when you can, so to get a more authentic experience. But, I don't think that should be part of the casting process, that question. But he's suave and sharp, a good-looking guy from My Best Friend's Wedding. Again, another Shakespeare in Love, Stardust, An Ideal Husband, and Everybody's Got to Get Paid. Dunstan Checks In. Guys, remember Dunstan Checks In? Jared, you have to remember Dunstan Checks In.
You're going to be surprised. I do not.
The Jason Alexander orangutan movie, where the orangutan is the bellboy at the hotel.
I don't recall it.
God, kids today. Mark, what are we going to do with these kids?
I don't know. I never watched it, but I know that movie.
Oh yeah, God. Lord.
So just FYI, I know of it, but I knew enough of it not to watch it.
No, he has VHS copies of it. He's just embarrassed now. I got it. So we have Hugh Grant, Rupert Everett. What do we need, Mark? Mark, you need 3 points. You need 2 points to tie. So if I picked Rupert Everett, you're right in this thing. It's tied. We're going to the next thing.
I don't see it.
Yeah. I don't see it either because it's Hugh Grant, and because of that, I went with Ewan McGregor. Because I find Ewan McGregor sings and dances, and he can play that uptight British. He can play a lot of good stuff, but I think that uptight British fits the Colin Firth a little bit, especially in Moulin Rouge. I think that kind of guy. So because I went with Ewan McGregor, you have been mathematically eliminated, and Jared, that makes you today's winner. But before we get to today's final thought, let's remind everybody that, hey, we need subscribers. We always need. I'm going to be doing this for the rest of my life because we've been stuck at 80 for like months. I know more than 80 people watch the show because it's all over the place, and I see the analytics. But if you could go to matineeheroes.com/castoff, click on the YouTube link and subscribe so we can get the URL. Then I'll stop asking. I promise. Jared, do that right now. Go to your thing. I know you haven't subscribed because you didn't watch the show before you went on, despite the fact you won, because you were asking me all kinds of video questions before we started. So just go on, subscribe. As soon as I get that URL, 6 months from now, unsubscribe. That's fine. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to watch anything. It doesn't hurt you. Also, buy some Cast-Off merchandise. FanX is coming. We're going to be doing a live Cast-Off at FanX. We'd love to see some Cast-Off shirts in the audience. We've got the Sonic the Hedgehog one, and we've got the Spider-Man No Way Home versions. But also, there is also as you can see in this one, we've got our Glenn Ross from our last Cast-Off at FanX. Always be casting. So, since you are today's winner, Jared, you get the final thought, and then you can say anything you want. Express anything, promote anything. What is your final thought?
Well, first, thanks for having me on the show. I really do appreciate it. My second win on my second appearance. So obviously I'm doing something right whenever it comes to Cast-Off. Mark, thanks for taking the worst picks, I guess. Also, I want to say a couple things. One.
Oh, a couple things. That's a final thought, not final thoughts.
Yeah. No, it's final thoughts. Okay. Podcast is the Three Musketeers, Spook Squad, and Hi Hungry, I'm Dad. And also Comic Palooza is going to be here on July 16th and 17th. I'm going to be doing a D&D panel plus some live shows. Absolutely,
and that is this upcoming weekend, or this was actually it was last weekend. This is coming out July 19th, so hopefully it went well. And if not, it's because of Comic Palooza's lack of promotion, because I'm sure it was a well-attended. Everybody had fun at your viewings.
I'm sure they probably did.
I can guarantee it. Well, you want to be a contestant on the show? Head over to matineeheroes.com/castoff/application. You can also email mhcastoff@gmail.com. Follow us on Twitter at the Castoff Show. I'm just going through it now. We're done. Additional judges: Elizabeth Rapp and Carrie Gordon. So if you don't agree with my choices, actually didn't match a lot of Elizabeth and Carrie's. I actually liked quite a bit of yours, Mark. It's just that I was outvoted, and we'll talk about that in the post-game show. But on behalf of Mark Woodring and today's winner, Jared McClelland, I am Craig Price. This has been the Cast-Off.